All right, welcome back to the Fantasy Labs podcast. This is Brian. I am here with Jay. It is, oh God, what is today? Tuesday?
Yeah.
Tuesday. Jay, what's up, man?
How's it going, Brian?
Pretty good. I have no clue what day of the week. It's Thanksgiving week, so been traveling and dealing with family and everything. So a little disoriented, but still in basketball mode. So we're gonna knock out this Wednesday slate. We got 12 games here? Looks like, yeah. So we got a pretty heavy slate that we'll knock out. So we'll jump right into it. So the first game that we're gonna talk about is the Knicks at the Magic. And let me pull up the line here. It's 195.5, so pretty low. And Orlando is 1.5 point favorites right now. So not super great for either team. Low implied projection totals, but we can see if we can find any value here. So starting with the New York side, Jay, what are your thoughts on them?
Yeah, I think Porzingis has finally entered that cash realm of where you kind of have to look at him really hard every night. This total isn't ideal or anything, but he's in a really good spot. Back-to-back huge double-doubles. He has a good matchup, played 37 minutes the other night, 36 the night before. Even in a blowout, he played 37. So, 9 blocks his last 2 games. And Magic get their shot blocked a lot. So, I really think you got to consider him for cash. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, his price has gone way up, but it's warranted, and I still don't even think he's particularly close to where he should be.
Yeah, exactly.
The last 2 games, he's had 47.5 fantasy points on DraftKings and 59.5. So, not really particularly close to where he should be. I think roll him out in cash or really honestly, tournaments, whatever you're playing. I think he's definitely fine. What about Melo?
Yeah, Melo, same. Tournament play like he is pretty much every night. He's shooting the ball really, really poorly this season, but he's taking 5 threes a game, so he's got that upside, but it's not enough for me to take him in cash, consistency-wise.
Yeah, definitely. I'm never, super interested in cash for Melo. Okay, so I did think we definitely agree on Porzingis is kind of the elite play. But
I like him more on FanDuel too. You got to play 2 power forwards, and he's 6,700 there compared to 7K at DraftKings.
DraftKings, gotcha. So a little bit of a discount there for sure. And honestly, the implied total is kind of taking me off of really anyone else on New York's side.
Yeah, that's it for me. Just Porzingis and Melo in tournaments, and the rest of that team against Scott Skiles' pace and everything is just doesn't really jump out, especially in the 12-game slate. Even tourney-wise, there's really not much going on there with upside.
Yeah, I think I'm not. How do you feel about Afflalo? I mean, he's up getting 30 minutes now, but just hasn't done a whole lot with it.
Yeah, he's just so scoring dependent. I just don't really see him with Melo on the court, being dropping that many points to make him a huge value play or anything.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, so other side, Vooch is down in his salary. He's down below 7K for the first time this year. He's at 6.8, so could potentially be a value here. But his obviously his production's been down, which is why he's dipped. But might be a good time to buy low on him. Are you interested in that at all in tournaments?
Yeah, that's a really great price for Vooch for tournaments. The problem with the Magic right now is, Skiles is absolutely insane, and who knows who he's even going to start next game. He said he's going to change the lineup. I wouldn't be surprised if he benched everyone. He could start Aaron Gordon, possibly bring Bias off bench for a little spark to the second unit. He could start Nicholson. I mean, you just don't know. So I don't think anybody on the Magic is safe right now. And on a 12-game slate, I think you're insane to really roll anyone out on this team in cash right now, the way they are.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I mean, last game by the end of the first half, Nicholson was their leading scorer just out of nowhere. So, yeah, it's impossible to trust him. And he ended up with 30.5 fantasy points, got 24 minutes. Yeah.
Right. It's a mess. And Skiles will just play, he'll bench anyone. He has no loyalty, except like Fournier, I guess, is almost a lock for minutes. But
yeah,
I still think he's a little kind of priced out of the cash
6-7,
range.
yeah.
In this game, too,
yeah.
It's not great.
Yeah, I think Fournier is the one guy that I would potentially look at other than Vooch in tournaments. Actually, I mean, I guess all the guys are fairly okay.
Tobias is a fine tourney play as well. It's a matter of what the starting lineup will be and where there will be extra value based on that starting lineup.
Yeah, agreed. Before we move on to the next game, do you want to just vent about Alfred?
No, I got over that quick.
Okay.
Yeah, he was 9% owned, and I had a lot of other help deteriorating my lineup than him, so it's not like it was just him.
At 9%, though, you'll take that. The process was good. He just didn't help.
Yeah,
What are you going to do?
Played 19 minutes, so it's all good.
We love Skiles. All right, let's move to the next game. We got Wizards at Hornets, and a pretty high over-under for an East Coast Eastern Conference game. We got 210 right now, and Charlotte is 2.5-point favorites. Wow, Hornets 2.5-point favorites in a 210 game over the Wizards. Was not expecting that at the beginning of the year, but here we are.
It's crazy. Charlotte's been in some really good, juicy games, though, lately. I mean, these totals are warranted for sure.
Yeah. So let's start Washington. They're coming off a back-to-back on the road against Charlotte. So does that make you worried? Last I checked, Beal was dominating in the first half and looked really good coming off that injury. At 6'6", he kind of seems like a standout play. But are you interested in Wall at 8-3?
Yeah, these prices are pretty soft, actually, for Washington. I think Wall at 8-3, Kemba's not the greatest individual defender. Charlotte's obviously better than I thought they would be at defensively this year, but, it's certainly a beatable matchup for Wall. At 8-3, you got to really look hard where you're going to spend your money on this slate, so it's not totally realistic to pay for Wall at that, but, I mean, that's definitely value there.
It is, yeah. And so I think, I don't think the slate necessarily dictates paying for him in cash, but I think 8-3 is definitely reasonable with his upside in tournaments that you might, want to go above the public ownership on him.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, this is a high over-under close spread. Wall's got the highest usage rate. So, I mean, he's in a good spot. And, Beal, too. Yeah, he's in a great spot. It's a good matchup for him, too.
Yeah, and 6'6" is reasonable, and he looked obviously I had to stop watching the game to do this podcast, but he looked really good in the first half.
Yeah, in Hornets perimeter defense it's better that with MKG out it's pretty solid surprisingly. So Beal, I don't think he'll just make it rain from deep, but he's still a good tournament play.
Yeah, agreed. And then the rest of the guys are I don't know.
I'd look at Gortat a little.
Yeah,
he's been down to the post. I mean, Al will play in this game, and Gortat, he'll get minutes, and Al's not the greatest defender in the post, so Gortat could be a sneaky tournament play.
Yeah, I just don't know exactly what his upside is. I mean, he really hasn't been above 30 fantasy points. I mean, he really hasn't been below 20 fantasy points. So
I guess that makes him a little bit more of kind of a contrarian cash game play, but there's really not a lot of point to that.
Not in a big slate. I would say you can go that in a smaller slate, but so I'm off of him. Nene is 3.6. I call him Nene instead of Nene because of the song now. He's 3.6, doing well in low minutes, but the low minutes obviously worries me.
Yeah, and I'm a little worried about the back-to-back. I know he's dealing with calf issues, so, they hold him out relatively often to where I wouldn't be totally shocked if he sat tomorrow on the back-to-back.
Yeah.
And even then, Humphreys, those guys, they just don't have that much value.
True, yeah. Good point. So on the Hornets side, Kemba obviously is a guy that we've been pretty heavily targeting the last couple games. Been crazy high usage, crazy high minutes. Salary is bumped up a little bit to 7.4, but still very reasonable. But the issue is the matchup with Wall.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm probably off him. Washington's third in defensive efficiency against point guards. So, yeah, Wall's not, an ideal matchup. He is on a back-to-back, but it's enough at Kemba at that price you can kind of write off in cash.
Agreed. Batum might be potentially interesting. I think Porter is good, but Batum the Porter matchup doesn't necessarily worry me a whole lot with Batum.
No, Washington has allowed, opponents to shoot really well from three, and Batum's taken 5 a game. So, he's going to get those minutes, and he can fill a stat line. He's got upside for sure.
Yeah. It looks like I saw earlier today, I think he has the flu or something or some stomach bug, so he's questionable.
Sounds right.
Yeah, obviously watch out for that. So if he is out, then we would obviously probably bump up Lamb a little bit at 4.6.
Yeah, he'd be a little bit of a tournament option for sure.
Yeah, but other than that, not a whole lot. I mean, you can go Al Jefferson in tournaments.
Yeah, if Batum's out, he is questionable, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
They could start Lynn at the 2 again. They could start Zeller. Neither one. I like Lynn off the bench way more than starting. His rate's way lower. Zeller played a lot that overtime over Al Jefferson.
Yeah.
As well.
They've been ending games with Zeller a lot lately, which is encouraging. I've been screaming at the TV for them to do that for a couple of years now. But they've been doing that with Batum and Kemba and Lynn in the off guard. So
and they got 3 big wins in a row against some powerhouses, the Sixers, the Nets, and the Kings.
Yeah, they look great, don't they?
Yeah, some big time wins.
Yeah, man.
I actually kind of like Marvin too as a sneaky tournament play. I like his matchup a lot. If Nene on him going to the perimeter. Washington's 25th in defensive efficiency against power forwards.
Yeah, honestly, there's not like a whole lot of like really high totals tomorrow. 210 is actually the second highest of the posted lines. And obviously Charlotte being the favorite means that their implied points is actually, one of the highers of the slate. So you definitely want to get some exposure.
Yeah, for sure. And then, Al Jefferson, I don't love his matchup as much.
Gortat's tough.
He's tough in post-ups for sure. So I'm not really too high on Al Jeff right now for this game.
Yeah, I think Batum is the best play if he's in, and then potentially kind of depends on what happens with Lynn and whether he's in the starting lineup or Jeremy Lamb. I think would be definitely guys you want to target if he was out. But
right overall though, they're mostly tournament plays for me.
Yeah, they are, even despite the high implied total. But I think that it's just because Washington's actually pretty good on defense. So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's move on. Next game is Cleveland at Toronto, and we have a line. It's 197, and Cleveland is 1.5 point favorites. So let's start on Cleveland's side. So question always is, once we get to these high price guys, we got Westbrook down finally at 11.3 with KD back. We got Brow at 10.8, Harden at 10.3, and then here Braun at 10.1. So the question is this a spot you want to target LeBron or not?
Not for cash. I like targeting LeBron when he's got everything going for him. Carroll's a good defender, and I think he can kind of cause some problems. I don't think you can really shut LeBron out or anything, but Carroll will be on him all game, and it's not ideal on a 12-game slate to target a high-priced guy with a difficult matchup individually. Yeah. And one thing, though, on the other side is for tournaments, Love and JR have been shooting lights out. So I do like going LeBron in tournaments because JR and Love aren't going to make that many threes. And when they do start missing, LeBron will have to be more aggressive. And that's kind of the side where, I would love for him to take a lot more shots, even with Carroll on him. But the way things are going now, I don't think he's really a cash game play tomorrow.
Yeah, I think he's okay in cash. I mean, if you look at his game logs, he's been, 44 and a half, 50, 46, 42, 68, 48, 53, 41. He hasn't been below 41 in a month.
Right. You're paying for a really solid floor, of course. He's got 21 assists in his last 2 games. So, he's still a fine play. And this game is huge. I mean, I'm really excited for this game, Eastern Conference, albeit. But,
it's going to be a good game.
It should be a great game. And LeBron normally, in these tight games, he is a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, I agree. And so his implied points based on salary is 45, which I think is – that's like a pretty safe –
Definitely, yeah. He's right.
Yeah, and I would say to remember that Valanciunas is out for the next 5 or 6 weeks. So obviously not as much rim protection in the lineup, and LeBron usually does well when there's not a ton of rim protection.
You don't think they upgrade with Val out with Biyombo? He's a much better rim defender.
He's a much better rim defender.
But he won't play as much, I guess.
Yeah, he won't play as much, and I love Biyombo obviously from his Charlotte days, but LeBron's just – he could trick him into so many things.
That's true, yeah. That's a good point. But Biyombo, he's a much better rim defender. I think their defense just improved quite a bit. But their offense dropped with Biyombo, obviously. Yeah, and I think LeBron could do some things to get him in foul trouble. And it doesn't scare me away necessarily. Right.
So Love's salary is up. He's at 8.3. He's been kind of slowly rising. He was in the 7s and kind of up now to 8.3, but still killing it. So I'm good.
Yeah.
Cash and tournaments.
I am too, yeah. He is just smashing in the post this season. And both these teams play at a slow pace. I think it fits him well in this game for them to kind of feed him down low. And, he's leading the NBA in points per possession in the post, which is crazy. He looks so good. And, 2 games without Mozgov, he's averaging 29.5 points, 9.5 rebounds. So, he needs a hard look tomorrow for cash.
Agreed. So the really interesting guy, obviously, is Thompson, who we loved, and now his price is up to 5.8, which kind of puts him right at value for me. He works better for me on FanDuel, 5.7, and you have to start 2 power forwards. But he's not really a must play. He is getting huge minutes and he's rebounding really well. So he shouldn't have problems really with rebounds without too much. But Biyombo is a great rim defender, so it kind of limits Tristan's offensive upside. Yeah, I think Tristan's fine. I don't think there's a whole lot of upside. I think he's probably got an okay floor, but at 5.8, you're not really getting a value on DraftKings. Potentially it's a little tougher. He's on the fence for me, cash. I think if you play both sites, maybe go him on FanDuel and fade him on DraftKings, I think is a good play. Agreed. Yep, agreed. For sure. Anyone else on the Cleveland side? Are you interested in JR or Delly? Not too much. JR is just so dependent on his threes. You could fire him in some tournaments, in case he hits 6 threes again or whatnot, but this isn't the greatest matchup perimeter-wise for JR. Yeah. No Delly? No Delly. No Cunningham. No, never. He had 33 fantasy points. It doesn't matter. It's process. Trust the process. True. Okay. Toronto side. So we got Lowry up at 8.5, which a little high for me, I think, on this slate. But obviously going against Delhi is not a terrible matchup for sure. And then some okay price guys. Scola at 4.8 has been getting some minutes with Valanciunas out, so I think that he's very much in play. Those are kind of the 2 guys I'm looking at mostly. You're not looking at Biyombo at all at 3,600 on FanDuel? On FanDuel at 36, yeah. It's tough. Going a guy like that on a slate this big is really, really tough. You're relying on him to not kind of
kill you.
I mean, his floor is so low.
His floor is low and his upside is low too. So yeah, I don't recommend playing him even if you project him, at 19 or something, and that is value at 36. But I'd rather go elsewhere at center and kind of there's other value to be had. I think you don't really need to go a 3,600 center.
Yeah, I agree with
that.
But
he did in 21 games last year as a starter. He averaged almost 7 points, 8.5 rebounds, and just about 2 blocks a game. So they're serviceable numbers for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And Scola, I'm keeping my streak alive and not rostering him. But you're right; he's getting more minutes and he deserves some more looks. But he'll never get you blocks. He'll never get you steals. He'll never get you assists. His rebounds are limited. So there's not a whole lot you can do with Scola.
Yeah, I agree with that. Carroll, his implied points at his salary is 25, and I think that is pretty reasonable for him. So I'm fine with him, but he's not my favorite play.
Right. I mean, his focus in this game should just be on LeBron, really, and I don't think he'll be too aggressive. But for a tournament play, yeah, he's fine. Same with Lowry and DeRozan. Their usage rates warrant some tournament consideration, even though this isn't the greatest game to target them for sure.
Yep. Yeah, agreed. Okay, let's move on. Next game that I got is Miami at Detroit. Over-under is 190.5, which is brutal. And it is currently a pick'em. So just not a lot of points here, to be honest. So
no, that's a really low total, and the Heat. I'm convinced they all got together one night recently and hit up Carl's Jr. or something because they're all sick. Every single player is ill. Whiteside's questionable with illness. Amari probably got them all sick because he doesn't see the court.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
Who do you think would pick up their tab at Carl's Jr., by the way, if they went their whole team? I vote for Josh McRoberts.
Yeah, you're right. He looks
they'd
like
make him pick up the tab. Yeah, they'd put it on him for sure.
Also, maybe Tyler Johnson.
Yeah, some little hazing. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, I don't feel like he would say no to much.
No.
Yeah. Great question, though. Chris Anderson, Birdman, would definitely not pay.
No, he'd actually get free food, I think.
Even if he was by himself.
Yeah, here you go, man. Promote our whatever those burgers are called. I don't even know.
I don't know. Yeah, we over here on the East Coast, it's Hardee's.
That's right, Hardee's. All right, well, same thing. So you're right. They probably hit up Hardee's.
Yeah, yeah. I knew what you were saying. I just didn't want to correct you.
Yeah. That's all good. But yeah, game-wise for the Heat, I think it's really Whiteside. If he sits, it kind of opens up a bit. But this is a really low total, and Bosch is decent. It's not a great matchup, and if Bosch is playing center, it's not great. Tough rim defender, but Bosch will get those pick and roll touches. I think he's a fine tournament play, but nothing that I would do in cash.
So if Whiteside is out, I guess we can finish up.
I mean, they could move Bosch to the 5. They could start Birdman, Haslam, but they haven't really even played this year too much. So it would definitely be bad for Miami, especially defensively.
Yeah, I would say that I'm kind of intrigued by Whiteside in tournaments because of his price. 8.3 is okay. D Wade at 6'9", I'm intrigued in tournaments as well, but that's about it for me. I guess
Wade's intriguing.
Yeah, but really the play for me is going to see whether Whiteside is out, and if so, and that means Bosch or whoever at center, that obviously Drummond is pretty enticing at that point, right?
Oh, yeah, I would try really hard to get Drummond in if he's going against Bosch at the rim and on the glass. Luol Deng's also questionable. So we might see that first Winslow career start. But the problem with him is his usage rate is so low. I don't really see that increasing as a starter, but
yeah,
I mean, he's not the worst punt play. If he does draw the start, he'll play a ton of minutes. You'd think he should be able to rack up some stats, but it's something that I think is, really, really risky.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, his usage rate isn't going to be super high, but I feel like he could probably get enough peripheral stats to hit value. But there's not a ton of upside. Like, you're not going to get a 30-point game out of this 30.
Right. And Dang plays through everything anyway, so I wouldn't really bank on Winslow getting the start.
Yep, agreed. Okay. Anyone else on Detroit before we move on from this game?
You mean Miami? No one else in Miami. Just Wade. Or are you talking Detroit outside of Drummond?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, yeah, Drummond for sure. I mean, it's pretty simple with him, I think. Miami's number one in defensive efficiency against centers, with Whiteside, obviously. So if he's out, I think, Drummond cash for sure. If Whiteside plays, Drummond Turney. I mean, you just don't need to go him cash against Whiteside. But he could get an early Thanksgiving feast if Whiteside's out. Bosch is terrible at the rim, so I would definitely try really hard to get Drummond in if Whiteside's ruled out.
Yeah. I would too. Yeah, I think he becomes an elite tournament play.
Absolutely.
And probably even cash.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I got Reggie as a tournament play always. Anyone with that high of a usage rate, he's got the 7th highest. He's always has – I think he has the ball in his hands more than any player in the league. So he obviously has upside always. And in a game like this, I think he'll be pretty low owned.
I would assume so because of the total.
The low total, right? Yeah. But he can still throw together a borderline triple-double line every now and then. So I think exposure to him is pretty sneaky play.
Agreed. And for some reason, apparently we have Fantasy Labs users who love Marcus Morris because I always get 4 questions a day about Marcus Morris. So
yeah, people love him. He was good at the beginning because his price was soft, and there were a lot of slates where there weren't many options at small forward. So I was like, okay, I'm going to throw Marcus in there. He's going to play 36 minutes. And, he can't be that bad with that. But on this big slate, he's just a tournament option. He gets a lot of his points in transition, and Miami, solid defensively. Spo has, gotten a lot better of a defensive coach over the years.
Yep. I agree with that. So he's kind of okay for me. I find myself playing him more on FanDuel where I have to get 2 small forwards in.
Right. And the same goes for Pope with that, transition points for Pope, wide open threes. It's not going to happen really in this game.
Yeah. Agreed. Okay. So I don't think we need to spend a whole lot more on that one. Drummond if Whiteside is out, for sure.
Right.
Okay. Let's move on to the next game, which is the 76ers at the Celtics. And let's see if we got a line. We do. It's 199, and the Celtics are pretty big favorites. They're 10.5-point favorites. So start on Philly side. So Okafor is at 6'9", and looked really good last game, even against Towns, which I think surprised a lot of people. Towns was the popular chalk play, and Okafor was the kind of the contrarian play against Towns, and obviously that worked out, put up 25 and 12. So you going back to the well at 6'9"?
Yeah, Ja cleaned up with Towns. That was pretty awesome. I didn't see that coming at all. He looked great, And I do like him here on both sides. He has a very favorable price. This isn't the greatest spread, but what have they been within 10 really anyway? So,
yeah.
He'll see his minutes. His usage rate is 28.4. I mean, it's insane. So he's going to get his touches in the post. And Solinger is far from a good rim defender. I know Celtics as a team are really solid at defense, but I think Ja can exploit this matchup. And with his price, he's a cash game for sure, consideration.
Yeah, I'm not sure why his price is so low. I mean, it's at 6'9", which is actually lower than it's been despite killing it the last 2 games. So it almost makes me
lower on FanDuel.
Yeah, which almost makes me think that like I sometimes try to figure out what the algorithms for these sites are, and it makes me think that like they put implied points into it for the matchup, just try to balance it out so it's matchup dependent, and maybe Okafor is just always underpriced for that reason. Because
Yeah,
the lowest
they're slow on some players, and
yeah,
ownership plays a large role too.
yeah, true.
There have been other great values at centers too often, so it's not like everybody's rolling jaw out all the time.
Yep, agreed. All right, so other guys for Philly, I still love Covington at
Yeah.
8. He's cash play for me, and probably the only guy on this team that I am really focusing on
Outside of jaw.
outside of Ja. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you there. Covington, 35 minutes last game, 32 the game before. Solid point per minute guy, so he's a fine player.
cash.
Uh maybe. I mean, Stauskas is game time, or he's questionable with a knee injury, so obviously him out would be nice. Just less bodies for them to deal with on the wing.
Yeah,
I think Grant, is he's gonna start for the foreseeable future because they really like his length defensively.
yeah,
So I'm fine with Covington off the bench if he gets 33, 34 minutes,
yeah.
then that's fine. I think that's pretty safe to assume. It's not the greatest matchup wise, but Boston does play at a fast pace.
Yeah, and when we talked, we've talked before about kind of liking guys off the bench better. We talked about Lynn the last couple podcasts, and I think Covington's kind of in that same.
Yeah, he could be. I mean, if the minutes are there, then yeah,
Yeah,
I prefer him starting with the second unit, I guess.
yeah.
He comes out bombing. He's taken 15 threes in his last 2 games.
I like that.
Right.
I will say that is nice. That the idea of coming off a bench against a second unit is nice, except for a team like Boston who plays like 11 deep.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. For some teams, it's a disaster if they go to the bench, but
Right.
some teams split it up, and I think Covington's pretty safe minutes wise.
Agreed. Yep. Okay, so Boston, I guess. So is Smart just going to continue to be out? What's his stat
Yeah, he's out weeks. You don't want to
for a
talk
while?
about McConnell?
What about him?
He's not a cash game play with his free throw rate.
Is he taken one yet?
No, he
He still
hasn't.
hasn't taken one.
Yeah, people are still firing him out there though, and I think his upside's so limited right now with Cannon and
Yeah.
Pressey there, and Roten's coming back December 11th. So see you later, young Nash.
I mean, he scored 4.6 points and 5 points the last 3 games. So, uh,
Yeah,
yeah, keep on rolling them out there, guys. Uh, I'd love to play in head-to-head. Yeah, not really interested in McConnell at all.
right. Yeah, we can go to Boston real quick. Yeah.
Yeah, so Boston. So Smart is out for a while. So obviously, Isaiah Thomas at 7.7 is still reasonable for me in cash or tournaments. And I still like Bradley. He's been priced up a little bit. He's at 5. Oh gosh, he's been priced up a ton. Holy moly! All right, so he was at 5 and 4.7 and 4.5, and now he's at 5.9 on DraftKings.
Yeah, that's a steep increase, but with Smart out, Bradley starting, he played 40 minutes last game and took 14 threes. So
Took 14 threes?
I think so.
Oh, you're right. And he hit 50%
Yeah.
of them. Holy.
Yeah. Yeah, I love this backcourt in this matchup. It's about as good as it gets. I'm really, really,
Yeah,
really
Philly,
high on Isaiah. Philly's dead last against point guard, and Isaiah scores a lot in transition. Philly's dead last in that. They're dead last in turnovers.
Yeah.
Isaiah's got a top 10 usage rate in the league. He's locked in for huge minutes with Smart out. His price isn't like a bargain or anything, but I think he'll easily pay it off. And he's certainly a great cash game play.
Yeah, I agree. I think both of them are fine cash game plays. Even despite the price increase. And I think that I'm okay with playing them together in a tournament.
Yeah, Yeah, I can see that. Boston could really put up some serious points in this game, but yeah, cash wise, I'd probably pick one or the
Oh
other.
yeah, I wouldn't go both in cash.
Bradley at shooting guard. Shooting guard's pretty thin. Point guard's deep. I do like Isaiah more even price comparable than Bradley, but Bradley's in a good spot too. Philly can't defend the three.
Yeah, no, you're right. Okay. Anyone really
And
else? I mean,
then
do you like Solinger at
yes,
center?
yeah, I kind of do. As a
Tournament.
tourney play, but
Yeah,
Philly's 29th in defense efficiency against centers, and they get their shot blocked a ton.
yeah,
It's just sporadic minutes for Sully, really, that gets me a little bit often in cash.
yeah. I think, yeah, those guys that we talked about before, Thomas and Bradley, are the only cash game viable plays. But I really don't mind a lot of these guys for tournaments, honestly. Solinger's fine in
Yeah,
tournaments. Jay is fine in tournaments. I even don't mind Evan Turner in tournaments.
no, Turner should play more, and there's also the blowout factor. Obviously, we're forgetting
Right.
here, and
True.
that's why I really don't like loading up on two at most in cash, and I even think that's pushing it. But if you went three, like Bradley, Isaiah, and Solinger, I like all three. But we just saw how bad it can be playing three guys against Philly with the Wolves. If you miss out on Wiggins and you went Towns, Rubio, and Kmart at his cheap price, you're screwed if
Yep.
that game doesn't work how you thought it would. So
Yep.
on a 12-game slate, you can't really put too many eggs in a basket with one team
Yep.
when they could easily blow them out. That's why I like Turner, though. He'll see minutes. Hit, I
Regardless.
think 32 last game, and
Yeah.
Smart's out. It's a less body there, and yeah, he could put up a good line.
Yeah.
And Crowder, people are like playing him in cash and stuff. I think it's insane personally, but
Mm-hmm.
this game is a game for Crowder. He averages 2.6 steals a game and really turns it over so much. I could see him putting together a respectable line, but it's nothing I'm really targeting.
Yep. Agreed. Let's move on. Next game I got is, speaking of Minnesota, we got the Hawks at the Timberwolves. Over under is 204.5, and Atlanta is 2-point favorites. So let's start with the Atlanta side of things. We got Millsap up at 8-2, and then kind of a dip to Horford at 7K. So favorite Atlanta plays.
It's probably Millsap.
Yeah.
I like him quite a bit. He just has such a high floor because his blocks and steals source, and he's gonna get his shots off. So even if he shoots bad, he won't kill you or anything because he does so much more. He's crushing it with blocks and steals lately.
Yeah.
They are on a back-to-back too, which that worries me a little bit more towards Horford, just with the injuries he's had throughout his career.
Yeah.
But he does have a great price, and his matchup is tough individually, but we saw Towns get exposed by Ja.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. I think that I'm fine with centers against him. So, yeah.
Right. And
So I'm fine with
Teague,
Horford.
Rubio's a good defender. I don't love Teague, and
I like his price, but yeah, not super.
on a back-to-back, I don't think he's 100% anyways.
Yeah, that's probably
But this
true.
is a good game. It's a good total, a great spread. So I think exposure is pretty important here.
Yeah, I guess the question is, for me, I think it's a little more on the Minnesota side.
Right. Yeah. I mean, these Hawks guys, they're good plays, but yeah, I mean, you can throw Millsap in cash. This is a great game for him.
Millsap is fine. Yeah, I love Millsap. He's definitely my favorite play. But yeah, you're right. The rest of them are kind of for me. I guess if
Right.
you're down on Teague, you could contrarianly talk yourself into Schroeder.
Yeah, if Teague's out, Schroeder, yeah, even then, it still wouldn't be like a certain cash game play in this game.
Yeah,
His price isn't like super soft or anything.
yeah, you're right.
And then, yeah, Bazemore's out. But I don't. If Tabo played 48 minutes, I still wouldn't even blink an eye at it. It just doesn't do anything, and no upside.
Yeah, he's like similar to Winslow. He just the usage
Yeah.
rate is just
Yeah, there are a lot of guys like that. It's like, well, he's going to get big minutes, and it's like it just doesn't matter. Like Andre Robertson too. It's like, well, he might take a shot in 48 minutes if he wants. So
right.
that's
Yeah.
when minutes, don't matter as much for guys with low usage rates.
Yep. Agreed. Okay. So other side, Minnesota. I think that this is a perfect spot to target Towns. You're getting Atlanta on a
I
back-to-back,
agree.
and recency bias. People are going to be off of him potentially because of the dud. So Towns, he's a young guy. He really cares about this stuff.
I totally agree. I'm huge on Towns and tournaments for a bounce back. You're right. He really, really does care about this. And, not many people take just one regular season loss as hard as he does. And he's still young, and I think he's a good tournament play. I don't love him in cash just because the matchup isn't, great by any means, but I think he'll have no problem out rebounding Horford on the glass, and he'll have success with that pick and roll down low. But tournament wise, absolutely, for sure.
Did you see? I can't remember who reported. I think maybe it was Zach Lowe who said that he heard that Towns, like, he was really mad after a game a couple of weeks ago. It was a game they won, I believe.
Yeah, I saw that, and he brought up some little thing like a defensive assignment or something.
He was mad. He said he was not as good as he should have been at calling out screens.
That's what it was. Yeah, and everybody's like, "Are you serious?" Yeah,
like, no, this kid's
he's got a great basketball IQ.
Yeah, and honestly, he's just super intense.
That might not translate super well with DFS wise, but I mean, I do expect him to bounce back in this game.
I think it does a little bit in that, like, I feel.
I think it does. I just don't know if it's quantifiable. You can actually project when that will matter, but
but I do think, anecdotally, because we noticed that you and I are probably going to be more on Towns than the public is.
I would definitely like to overweigh Towns.
Me too. So we're on Towns for sure. So Rubio, Wiggins.
Yeah, I've said every podcast Wiggins is a tournament play for me just because his lack of secondary stats, but he's in cash range for me now. He's
real good.
That. Yeah, I mean, he's incredible, and he's scoring at will, and the Hawks are really missing Carroll on the wing.
Yep.
I love him in this spot. This is a good game to target, and we got a few blowouts tonight, a couple of low totals, so Wiggins is perfectly fine for cash.
Yeah, and with Bazemore out too. Not that Bazemore is an amazing defender by any means, but Bazemore's pretty solid. So I mean,
even Tabo's pretty solid too, but not as much anymore.
Yeah, but even like if you're thinking that Bazemore minutes instead of going, I mean, obviously Tabo is going to play his minutes anyway, so maybe he gets a little bump. But if you expect maybe a couple of those to go to Schroeder, obviously that's a win for Wiggins if they.
Yeah, it is.
Dual point guard matchups, Wiggins would destroy that.
Yeah, he's in a good spot, and he's balling out. So I like him in cash.
Yeah, for sure. Is that it for you? Potentially,
Rubio, maybe in tournaments, but just because of his upside. Rubio's been he has in his last 3 games, he just had 5 fouls twice. And 4 fouls, or in his last 4 games, and 4 fouls another time. It's he's getting in foul trouble, which is crazy.
Yeah, still odd. I don't really know what to think about Kevin Martin. He got the start against Philly and got 32 minutes and did nothing. So
he could be a guy too. We were talking about earlier that is better on the bench. He can come off the bench and shoot right away. They're looking for him to shoot, but now with Wiggins, it's not the same. Minnesota team where you expect Kmart to get all the open looks. I mean, Wiggins is a ball dominant guy kind of, and he gets his looks. So Kmart starting doesn't do much for me.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, he is. There's so many guys. I mean, he's like by far the worst player in that starting lineup. So.
Oh yeah, and I mean, we just saw his floor. It is low. If he doesn't hit shots, he's pretty much worthless. Even more so than Wiggins. And Wiggins is obviously in a much better spot to score.
Yep, agreed. And he literally does nothing else other than score.
Right. Yeah, I don't even think he walks, past like inside the perimeter, for defense or anything.
Yeah, he just kind of stands at the 3-point line.
Right, 3-point line to 3-point line. It's like how I play pickup.
Oh, yeah. That's the only way to play pickup.
Yeah, people are crazy.
On defense?
I have no idea. It's outrageous.
Yeah, I don't like those people. All right, keep on moving. Next game we got is Nets at the Thunder. And I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, we do have a line now. 2-11. So this is the highest slate that we got so far. Some potential here, obviously. Going to be all on the Thunder side as their 12.5-point favorites. So put some fly points them high and Brooklyn low, but that's kind of to be expected in this matchup. So I guess we'll start on Brooklyn. Is there any guy that you're interested at all, or is kind of just
Not so much for cash. This game could get ugly quick. Durant looked really good, and Brooklyn is they're so hit or miss. I feel like lately, especially, it's the same three guys. It's Jarrett Jack, Thad, and Brook Lopez that are pretty good priced, well priced, but 12-point underdogs is not ideal. It's not like Oklahoma City has a shutdown defense, hence the 211 total. But it doesn't mean that you can just look at the total and fire out Brook Lopez in cash,
Yeah.
He's got upside for sure. They all have good upside, but cash-wise on a 12-game slate, double-digit underdogs on the road, I think you can find better elsewhere.
Agreed. I will point out one guy that I actually kind of love, especially especially if it's a blowout, is Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. He's at
really.
He's at 4K, and he's got over 30 minutes the last two games and has put up 35 fantasy points in the last two. So I think that you could go much worse at a punt play at 4K.
Yeah, he's been starting for a bit now. His usage rate's really low, but he's a really solid rebounder.
He gets a lot of
better than Brook Lopez at rebounding.
True. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't take much, but but his peripheral stats are all over the place. I mean, he obviously came into the NBA projected as an elite wing defender, kind of MKG-ish, where he's really, really raw offensively, but just kind of amazing on the defensive end.
Yeah, he has really nice potential defensively. I don't think you can really count on him for 5 steals like he got last game, but you're right. Yeah, tournament-wise, Oklahoma City turns it over a ton, so he can fill the line a bit.
Yeah, if you're assuming it's a high-paced game potentially, or maybe even a blowout, and they give minutes to the young guy. I mean, obviously he's a rookie, so all of a sudden if he gets that over 30 minutes, even closer to 35, and playing against Dion Waiters in garbage time, just racking up steals.
Yeah, he's fine. I wouldn't go him in cash.
No cash. Yeah, no Brooklyn guys in cash.
Yeah, I'm off them in cash. Brook Lopez is probably the only guy I'd consider, but even then, I won't go there with Ja cheaper.
Yeah, I'm not on any guys Brooklyn cash, and I'm really not even super on tournament except for Hollis-Jefferson.
Yeah, Thaddeus, he's been rebounding like a beast, but the Thunder are like the best rebounding team in the league. Yeah, so his value drops.
Yeah, I watched the Thunder game last night, and Ibaka looked real good.
Yeah, they looked good.
They looked good in general. Durant just kind of makes them go.
Pretty effortless, 27 points on 13 shots.
Yeah. So on the Oklahoma City side, obviously we get Westbrook to come down now that Durant's out, but obviously he's not getting the same usage rate. So, that's going to be interesting. Durant is at 9.6, which is probably underpriced for Durant, but again.
Oh, yeah. I'm fine with Durant in cash. Small forward, it's not the greatest. And he's absolutely underpriced. And this is, really easy matchup for Oklahoma City.
So I think we're going to disagree. So I think this is good. I kind of like disagreeing just so we can battle things out. So Durant 9.6 in cash or LeBron at 10.1 in cash?
I like Durant at 9.6. Maybe you're right. It's just Carroll on LeBron, but that's such a close game that LeBron's floor tomorrow is higher than Durant's. So
I'm LeBron in cash.
LeBron, that's true. But Durant still is underpriced, but you're right. LeBron's probably a safer play.
Yeah, I just don't think this game's going to be close at all.
It shouldn't. Yeah, it shouldn't.
Yeah, like I get the spread's only 10.5, but no, 12.5. Sorry, but I mean they just destroyed the Jazz last night, made them look like they were the 76ers. So I just can't imagine what they're going to do to Brooklyn. So maybe it's closer to 12.5. I don't know, but they looked real good last night. So.
And Westbrook's price is, way too high, obviously. I do think he'll still hold tournament value, though, because he probably won't be high owned with Durant back.
Yep, I think he's a good contrarian. And honestly, this is a great matchup for him.
Jared Jack.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, so he could have a huge line, especially if Durant kind of defers a little bit and lets Russ do his thing. So.
Yeah. Honestly, my two favorite plays, because I'm kind of expecting a massive blowout, is Cantor and Waiters.
Waiters probably had like his best game of his life last game almost.
He played really well. Yeah, it didn't even look like Waiters.
No, I don't think it was. It probably just got someone else to fill in.
Yeah, I mean, he was so efficient. 5 of 9, 1 of 2 from three-pointer. Took good shots. 12 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists. Yeah, just kind of filled it up.
Yeah, it's a full line. Yeah, no, for sure. And that's the kind of upside, that he offers, really. It's not bad. He's got a cheap price. And Cantor, it's only with minutes with him, he'll win this offensive glass matchup. So if he gets minutes, he could put a big line. He's great offensively on the glass.
Yeah.
Defensively, obviously, this won't matter as much. If it's a blowout, they can throw him out there and not really worry about him killed on defense.
Right, yeah. So I'm only playing him if you kind of assume that it's going to be a blowout, which I kind of think it is.
It's a good way to go. I mean, and that's the same with Waiters. Expect the blowout and Waiters to get some burn in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, so I think it's probably good to have some Durant and Westbrook exposure, and then also to have some Cantor and Waiters exposure in different lineups. Mm-hmm. And so you're kind of hedging on whether the game ends up being closer or whether it becomes a blowout, and you kind of hit both sides of it. So.
Right, and I do like going Westbrook and Durant separately in tournaments in case one defers and someone just has a ridiculous line, in the chance that this game is close enough to where they actually do play majority of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, so I've written before about going Durant and Westbrook together, and I really love the idea because we've even pulled some data on previous tournaments and seeing that the ownership together is super low. So obviously you're getting a lot of upside as far as the unique lineup, but I would never do that in a spread this big.
Right, yeah, that's the thing. If the spread's close, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if this game is close, then
like they're playing the Clippers, then
one of Durant or Westbrook isn't going off anyways if this game's close.
Yeah, like if they're playing the Clippers or the Rockets, then I'd roll both of them out in a lineup.
Right.
But
for low ownership.
Yep. Speaking of the Rockets, that's our next game. We got Memphis at Houston, and I got no line here.
Yeah, I don't have a line. It's Zebo is probably still game time, and I don't have a total either.
Okay,
it's probably relatively high though, the total.
Probably. Yeah, I would agree with that.
204, I think. 204, 206, something like that.
Yeah. Higher than we're probably used to a Memphis line.
Right. I mean, this is round 2 for them. Marc Gasol triple-doubled versus them last week. So I think we talked about Dwight not being the same defender in the post. So once again, I like Marc Gasol. I like him every night with
7-3 too.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of just – obviously his matchup with the Spurs wasn't ideal, and he didn't have a great game, but that's to be expected. And this is a good matchup for him. He's going to play big minutes again. Zebo's questionable. He didn't play tonight, so he could sit again.
Yep.
So, Gasol absolutely cash. Both sides is an option.
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of cash plays here, actually. I agree on Gasol, both sides cash. I'm even okay with Conley cash.
Yeah, for sure. Conley, I mean, Beverly's questionable, but even if he returns, I don't see him logging enough minutes to really disrupt Conley. But, you look, Jason Terry's already ruled the starter. And Ty Lawson off the bench anyway. So it's like that defensive backcourt is so bad. Conley can easily take advantage. The Rockets are dead last in defensive efficiency against point guards, and Conley's been a little bit more aggressive with Zebo out, which is really good to see. So hopefully Zebo's out again, and you can fire up Conley and Gasol even.
Yeah, I'm definitely okay with that for sure. And then the other guy, the only other guy that interests me is obviously our boy JaMychal Green.
What's his deal, man? He drew those starts. I thought everything was going to be great, a long future ahead of him, and it's like they started Matt Barnes over him tonight.
Yeah, well, to be fair, that was a mistake. Also, to be fair, so they did that because he didn't play so well in his last start, but that was against San Antonio. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, he hasn't looked great in his starts.
But they've been against good teams.
Yeah, they have. And we'll see how this lineup tonight. I haven't checked out the game or anything yet, but with Barnes, I think at the 3 and Jeff Green at the 4. So
can't imagine that's going to work out well.
They can do that against Houston, though, too. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, if they do, then I'll probably like Terrence Jones a little bit more.
True. Yeah.
But we'll see what they throw out there tomorrow. Jeff Green's had 2 duds in a row, so I'm off him in cash. His usage rate's just not high enough, and doesn't do much else. And Barnes is, playing better right now.
Yep, agreed. So are you potentially interested in Barnes 3-4?
I mean, we'll see how he does tonight in the starting lineup if it sticks, and what his role is.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, that is interesting. Absolutely. If you need a punt, if the way your roster shapes up and you got guys you really want to pay for, you go to small forward and it already is pretty weak overall, then it's not the worst punt you can have if he's starting and seeing 34. He's played 34 and 31 the last 2 games off the bench. So
and starting now. So monitor what he does in the game tonight and kind of apply that to.
It's still super risky. I wouldn't recommend doing
no cash. For sure.
Yeah,
it's JaMychal. JaMychal's the better cash play, probably the best cash play on the slate. But
he usually is.
Yeah, that's just how it goes. No need even to really talk about that anymore. Houston side, Harden, obviously, probably. He's got that Tony Allen treatment.
If I'm going to play Harden, I want him to be in a good matchup. It's as simple as that. And it's such a big slate. It's not like need Harden's floor or something in this game. It's not worth it, really. He shot 1 from 7 against them last week for 3, which he kind of been doing most games almost. But it's just not the best individual matchup for Harden. He's obviously a tournament option. He still fills up the stat sheet, even if he doesn't shoot well, just with how many free throws he gets and driving to the rim. So
his usage rate's crazy. Right. Yeah, he's a guy that I hate in cash, but I love in tournaments.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy how it works out. But Harden's spot up shooting and ISO percentages just don't translate really well when you have a good on-ball defender on you. Yep,
agreed. So no cash for sure, especially since he's around that like KD, LeBron range.
Right, and I'd rather go those guys.
Yeah. But I do love him in tournaments because I think his ownership will be lower because of those guys, not only but also because of the perceived tough matchup. But I think he's good enough to overcome it potentially.
Yeah, I agree.
Other Houston guys, So I liked your Terrence Jones call.
Yeah, if Terrence has that matchup advantage, if Memphis goes small, if Zebo's still out, then I like him. It's been kind of a minutes thing. Yeah, I really prefer Terrence when Dwight's out, and all signs are pointing to Dwight playing marks. They're not in back-to-back, so it gets me off Terrence for cash. You could make an argument matchup-wise, if they roll out Jeff Green at the 4.
Yeah.
It's probably more of a tourney play. And even if that, he doesn't have a great upside with Dwight back. With Dwight out, he just performs better. There's more space down there for him to do what he wants to do.
Yeah, agreed. And Dwight, I guess we should mention him. No cash, but I do like him in tournaments.
Yeah, I think sooner or later they're they're going to feed him a little bit more on offense. He's not even taking more than 5 shots right now. He's still putting decent stats up, lines up with his rebounds and blocks. So, yeah, tournament-wise, obviously cash you can't even consider with the matchup down low against Gasol. But tournament-wise, that's fine. He can double-double and get some blocks to pay off his price.
Yep. Ariza, I am not on.
Yeah, another tournament play. I mean, all 4 of these guys really are tournament plays for me. Ariza's got those big minutes. Memphis has been terrible against the 3 all year. Yeah. So he's got upside. Memphis allows opponents to shoot 37.5% from 3. So Ariza will get his looks. And he plays a lot. So in a close game, I could see it, but definitely not really cash.
Yeah. Agreed. Okay. Let's keep on moving. Kings at the Bucks next game. And no line.
Yeah, no line. That's the boogie effect.
Come on, Vegas. Killing us with these no lines. All right. So let's start. Yeah. Start with Boogie. So if he plays, obviously, yes.
Yeah. If he plays, health will be a little factor if we, find out he's not 100%, but I don't think they'd play him if he's not 100% at this point. They're not really headed anywhere. If anything, Carl's gonna be fired soon, and they're gonna protect Boogie. So, and you said you saw he's doubtful.
He's
right?
doubtful. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm considering that he's not gonna play.
Yeah.
He couldn't play overtime in the last game, which was a close game, and I think if he could, he would have. But just on him wise, but I think he'll sit here, and it gives me more reason to fire up my boy Rudy Gay, highest usage rate on the planet with Boogie out.
God, you love Rudy Gay.
No, I just like his style of play for DFS. I like targeting guys who take 24 shots, and
I too. Yeah.
Obviously as a player, I think he's among the worst contract-wise. But I don't really talk about players in real terms too much when we're strictly discussing their value fantasy-wise.
Agreed. I agree on Rudy Gay. 7K is definitely.
Yeah, 7K cash, small forward, Boogie out.
Easily.
That's very solid. Yeah, you're not going to get much better than that value-wise at small forward.
Yep. So the other guys, really the only 2 other guys that are interesting me on the Sacramento side is Rondo at 9.3. I'm still okay with it.
I saw that too, and I was like, wow, it's outrageous. 9.3, you can get guys not much more, but you look at Rondo's floor lately, and it's
ridiculous.
Absurd. Yeah, his price might be too high, but you are paying cash-wise. You're getting that high floor.
He had 20 assists last game.
Yeah, he might not be best value-wise, but sometimes you can't. You got to look past just value, and you got to look at, okay, I'm paying. I'm getting 40 out of my point guard, pretty much no matter what.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, 9.3.
So it's really safe play. Yeah, and yeah, he probably is priced a little too high, but you can't argue games. Yeah.
Yeah. Then the other guy that's interesting to me is obviously Koof if Boogie's out.
Yeah, we'll see how they go with the lineup. I assume they probably go big, but they could start Caspi at the 3 and Gay at the 4 as well.
Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah, definitely monitor that. Put potentially Koof at 4-2 on DraftKings is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Milwaukee side, Monroe is obviously really interesting if Boogie is out.
Yeah, I love Monroe. Yeah, he's a cash game play if Boogie's out, and we're kind of assuming, Boogie's out.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
just the way you're breaking down the slate right now, doubtful. You want to explore options that he's out instead of kind of guessing 50-50.
Yeah.
So yeah, Monroe's a great play. He should clean up on the glass and not have to worry about Boogie defensively getting him in foul trouble.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's a great play. Giannis is still fine to me. I'm not going him in cash, but at 7K, I'm fine with tournaments.
The Bucks are deep right now. They got all their bodies back, Mayo's back, so
yeah.
But the thing is, people overlook, I think, is that their last, 4 games have been huge blowouts, kind of. So you look at like MCW's minutes, even Giannis, they're pretty low. And I think people are going to look at that and be like, well, they have so many people back. But this makes me love them for tournaments because I expect this game to be somewhat closer. It's possible. If Boogie's out, then, it's possible. But I don't think it's going to be a 25-point game like the last 4 for the Bucks. So I like Giannis. This is a really fast-paced upgrade for the Bucks. Kings play at a really, really fast pace right now, especially.
I really love MCW, actually.
MC Dub for tournaments. He's arguably might be my favorite tournament play.
5'6".
Yeah, and he's been playing low minutes, but the games have been so lopsided.
Yeah, and
he's playing Rondo. Yeah, he has triple double potential, and he's playing Rondo. Doesn't really exist on defense these days.
Yep, 100% agree. I love him in tournaments. And I think I'm not really super interested in the lower guys. Jabari's still. I don't think he's gonna.
I don't think he's over 30 minutes really limit wise. Johnny O'Brien, you don't really need to say much other than just put him in tonight, cash game. Him and Jamichael. Deal with the rest tomorrow. Yeah,
you start him. Bayless is tournament. Middleton's tournament.
Right. Yeah. Really, it's Monroe, Cash, and I love Michael Carter Williams for tourney.
Me too. All right. Moving on. Mavericks at Spurs. Over under is we don't have a total. We do have a spread. It's Spurs -10. So
it's a pretty big spread the way the Mavs have been playing, but like Vegas, I also think the Mavs will kind of come back down to earth defensively, especially. Their defensive numbers are so good, and I just don't know how really.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not really sure either.
And Mavs are on a back-to-back, so we'll see with Parsons and Wes if they're limited or held out.
And Dirk because he's old.
And Dirk, right? So. It could pull a Popovich and sit him against Popovich, 10-point spread. So, and it's the same as always with me. I don't like anyone on Dallas and cash right now.
Yeah. Depending on what happens, I'm potentially okay with Zaza.
Yeah, that's where it comes, tournament-wise. Like, Darren's playing really well lately, and Tony Parker's not a defensive stopper. But overall, it's still just they're not going to get that many points. It's just a much tougher matchup. Yep. Dirk, Zaza, they're tournament plays with a tough matchup.
Fair enough. Yep. Okay. Yeah, so does that also lower Spurs for you?
They're pretty much the same, Kawhi, cash game, play. Aldridge is still questionable, so Kawhi's been a little bit more aggressive with Aldridge out. There's, shots to go around, so his floor, is really high, obviously. It's the only guy you can really count on for minutes on this team. Yeah. So, he's absolutely cash game.
Yeah. The David West experiment about him getting the start and potentially some minutes at a really low price just isn't working out.
No. And then, no. Yeah. They're so deep. And then you got Tony Parker, I saw some people roll him out in cash, which I think is points chasing, but, he's dirt cheap. But he's taking it back day. He can score in the paint. He's one of the most efficient point guards. I think he has the highest field goal percentage, most years he does. But the problem is always, volume. It's not like he's going to go out there and throw a Kobe up or something. So,
at 5'1", though,
much, no steals, no rebounds. His assists in a blowout, aren't going to be high. He needs those 20-points, like scoring-wise, to get him a solid enough line. And I just don't think you can count on those very often.
Yeah. Sorry. I agree. It's very points chasey for me. His minutes have been super steady. He's been literally at exactly 32 minutes the last several games.
Yeah. The minutes have been good.
Which is so poppy.
Right.
Just to stick to a math formula on stuff. But I don't think there's a ton of upside there. So it's pretty much Kawhi for me. And Duncan in tournaments.
He's my favorite tournament play of the entire slate.
Who?
I
Kawhi?
think no Duncan.
Oh, Duncan. Okay.
Yeah, with Aldridge out, he's played 30 plus back-to-back games, and his per 36 numbers are still crazy. And with Aldridge out, he can end with a double-double and a
Yep.
lot of secondary stats.
And real cheap.
And a lot, yeah, cheap. And this game could be close. Mavs are they're 9-4, 9-5.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're on a back-to-back. I think they're going to lose, and I think it won't be that close. But Mavs are played well, and if this game is close, that's the big if. Then I think Duncan could crush really hard. So I wouldn't load up on tournaments, but I think he'll be under-owned. If he gets 32 minutes, I think he can put up a really big line with Aldridge. If Aldridge is out, obviously, is the big if.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. All right.
Still questionable, so.
Yeah, definitely monitor. All right, let's move on. New Orleans at the Suns. We got no line. So
that's Bledsoe, right? Yeah, questionable. So that's why there's no line.
Bledsoe and Tyreek.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully for our sake, Tyreek is out. Because this is a good game to target for those Suns guys.
So it looks like latest update is he went through practice Tuesday and he is hoping to play Wednesday. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, let's hope not. Tyreek would really ruin his value. I mean, his usage will just screw everything up. Anthony Davis, though, I think is definitely a cash game play if you want to suffer all night, waiting for him to get an injury.
Yep.
Obviously, tournament is one of the best plays because people are so scared of him getting injured.
But and Tyreek.
And Tyreek, yeah. Yeah, sorry, I said the Suns matchup, but I meant the Pelicans regarding Tyreek.
Yeah.
But yeah, these teams just played, and it was 122 to 116. So it's a juicy game. They're both rested. Anthony Davis, he's back. He's obviously still got that upside and his floor as long as he doesn't get injured. It's a great matchup. Fortune favors the bold. If you can fit him in cash, roll him out.
Yeah, I just don't know what to do with his team if Tyreek plays.
It's tough. I mean, he kind of screws up everything.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, his usage rate. I mean, I think Anthony Davis is still fine, but you're right. Tyreek will get his shots. I mean, tourney-wise with my boy Ish, I mean, you see him off the bench the other night, went 17, 9, and 8, 3 steals and a block. They're not on a back-to-back, so you can't really count on that off the bench too often. Especially with Tyreek back,
his minutes are going to be a lot because Tyreek is going to play backup point guard.
Right. I mean, even if he doesn't, he will. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll grab the ball. So.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I mean,
Anthony Davis is 10-8 on DraftKings. Would you rather play him or LeBron against Carroll? If you're paying over 10 or Durant, 12.5 favorites. I mean, Davis, he's great play. I think at 10-8 is not bad.
In cash, I would go LeBron, Davis, Durant, in that order.
I've got Davis first. If you can stomach the chance that he's going to get an injury, which I can. I'm used to it. So.
No, the injury is not even worrying me. It's the Tyreek part of it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, you got to also think it's been a long time since Tyreek's played in a game. He's not going to really, go full minutes. I don't think he'll go too hard if he does play.
Have you met Tyreek? Or have you seen Tyreek? Has Tyreek ever not just –
I haven't seen him post-knee surgery.
Yeah,
we'll see. Maybe he rediscovered himself and wants to be more of a team player. I don't know.
Maybe so, man. Yeah, my point is not that I disagree with you by any means. My point is that I have no clue. So when I don't know, I kind of minimize that risk in cash. But obviously, I think he becomes my favorite play in tournaments out of those three.
Yeah, I mean, last 3 games Anthony Davis played, it's been, massive lines. So
Yeah.
at 10-8, 700 more than LeBron. I think he'll outscore LeBron. I think he'll outscore Durant.
Oh, yeah,
And,
potentially so.
and Harden, too.
Yeah, potentially so. Yeah. So, yeah. So I'd probably flip those, and probably he's my favorite tournament player out of those three. But
And it is tough, to go, like, if you want him cash on both sides, you're kind of a psychotic person with playing with fire. But
yeah,
you got to look at his injuries as it's not like a lingering injury. They're all kind of random, and he is fragile though, and it's definitely scary. But his upside's huge, and his price is fine, I think.
Yep, I definitely agree with that. It's really it for me. The Tyreek thing kind of takes me off of everyone else.
Yeah, if Tyreek plays, it's obviously a little scary. Eric Gordon. Ryan Anderson's been playing well off the bench still. And this is a game they could go small in really easily. Yep. So Anderson for tournaments, he's bombing them from threes, and I think he's a fine tournament play.
Agreed. Yeah, I like him in tournaments for sure. Phoenix side, the obligatory Bledsoe night talk. What do you do?
I mean, yeah, I pick wrong every night. The only way I'll pick right is if one of them is out. So I'm hoping Bledsoe sits. Obviously that the last game that night didn't have a great matchup, but this is a prime matchup. And if Bledsoe sits, I think Knight is pretty much a must play. Both sites with this matchup, and if Bledsoe's out. If Bledsoe's in, then you got that problem. Pelicans defense is really bad. Backcourt wise, they're bad, so they're both still great plays, but you got to choose. And for that, I think it comes down to your roster construction with shooting guard. If you need that, so if you can afford him, or point guard value. Point guard's pretty deep. Yeah. But Knight has been better lately, so it's tough picking one of those two, but I think this is a good spot to pay for one of them. Knight, preferably with Bledsoe out.
Yes, I agree. I'm really on Knight if Bledsoe's out. I'm still on both if they're both in, but I would probably pick Bledsoe over Knight in that situation.
Yeah, it's tough. And, health is another factor with Bledsoe. He might not be 100%.
Yeah, agreed. Keith has been playing well.
Keith came back to life. Put up a huge game against the Spurs. And more importantly, he's got his minutes back. He's got big minutes right now. So tourney play for sure.
Yep. And that's it for me.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I'm not touching anybody else.
Cool. So last game of the slate, and we'll end it up, is the Jazz at the Clippers, and we have a line finally. 196.5 is the line, so pretty low for a Clippers game, actually. Clippers are 4.5-point favorites. So let's start with Utah. They're coming off a really, really bad game, like the worst game of the last couple years. So
very bad. And Clips are on a back-to-back, so Jazz aren't in a terrible spot here or anything, but cash-wise, I'm not really loving anyone.
Yep. Yeah.
Favors for tourney is fine, and Gordon Hayward, especially if I did see the Clips finally started Wes Johnson at small forward, but if they rolled out Paul Pierce, I'll continue to take small forwards who have potential against Paul Pierce because he's a corpse out there defensively.
Yeah. In that regard, I like Hayward and cash.
But Doc isn't the stupidest coach, so I think finally he realizes, okay, I might have to start someone other than Paul Pierce. So Wes Johnson gives him that defensive security.
Agreed. And that no other cash.
No.
And I'm not
there. He's not great. He's also, I think, a little dinged up, but
he hurt his
tailbone. So
he hurt his butt. Yeah, he fell on his butt. Got it.
Yeah, and he hasn't really been balling out hard, anyways.
Yeah. And it's not a great matchup against Blake and DeAndre, so I'm not really on favors or Gobert, really in cash or GPPs. I think they're better plays. So that's it for me. It's kind of Hayward, and that's it.
Yeah, Hayward for tourney, and I could see some favors shares for tourney.
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
because he's gonna have to do a lot of the scoring.
And he's talented, so that weighs that comes out in games.
Right.
All right, so last team is Clippers. So CP3 8.5, you're getting a really nice discount here on CP3.
Right, and I actually like it quite a bit. Utah is a good overall defensive team, but they're not good against point at all until Exum comes back, obviously. But Utah's 28th against point guards defense efficiency. So Chris Paul, the soft price, at home is pretty solid. It is a back-to-back, so it's not like I'm jumping out there throwing him in cash both sides. But price is certainly good, and I love him for tournaments.
I do too, and especially for some reason, if Gobert is out, obviously Favors is still a pretty good rim protector, but obviously it's not the same as having them both out there.
Right. Yeah.
Paul would just get into the lane and do all sorts of.
Oh yeah.
To them,
If Gobert's out, then you could push him towards cash a little more. But as of now, he's a really great tournament play, and he's not a horrible cash play either, because I do think Blake will struggle from the elbow with Favors guarding him there, and you got obviously Gobert down low, so it's not a good matchup for Blake, obviously. So I do think Paul will have to do more in this game.
Agreed. CP3 is cash for me, and I like him in tournaments. Blake is only tournament, and even then it's a little hazy for me. I do like DeAndre kind of even if Gobert is out or is in, but especially if he's out, obviously.
Yeah, he'll clean up on the glass for sure. He's not a bad tournament play. Yeah, Blake, you don't have to bother looking at him in cash really, unless Gobert's out, I suppose. But
and no anything else on the Clippers. They're just
no Austin Rivers.
I mean, he's an elite. He's an elite talent.
He's an elite talent. It sucks, he's shelved behind that. Chris Paul.
Yeah, his dad just will never give him a chance, which is unfortunate.
No, it's ridiculous. His dad's just really holding him back.
What's the opposite of nepotism? Whatever that is what's going on.
Yeah, it's outrageous. But that's it for the Clips, really. There never really is anyone else unless there are injuries to the backcourt. So I mean, it's a huge slate. There's a lot of plays at each position. You really got to pick your spots. Really pick your studs who you're going to play. They're not in like ideal spots really. Harden's got Allen, LeBron's got Carroll, Durant's got blowout. Davis has literally anybody touching him could get him out of the game. So I mean, you got four guys who none of them are really like prime spots.
So you're gonna have to kind of mix and match, I think, is the way to go tomorrow.
Right. And injuries are big. I mean, Whiteside is a huge one because Drummond, he'll get that early Thanksgiving, he'll eat. So I think Drummond, cheaper than all those guys if Whiteside's out, I think becomes one of the top plays. Boogie's status is obviously huge, but we're considering him out. So, you don't have to pay up for two super expensive guys tomorrow with less than ideal matchups.
Agreed. Cool. Sounds great. Well, thanks for watching / listening, guys. I'm going to be out traveling with family. So Justin and Jay are going to do the Thursday pod for the Friday slate. So you guys will try to hold down the fort.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, basketball is my holiday, so,
I like it. Perfect. So, happy Thanksgiving to you guys. Happy Thanksgiving, Jay.
Thanks, man. You too.
And good luck, guys, tomorrow. And we'll talk to you guys. I'll talk to you guys next week, and you guys will hang out with Jay and Justin on Thursday / Friday. So
I'll see you guys on Thanksgiving. Good luck.
Perfect. All right, see y'all.